It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Morning, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. On this, the 6th day of December, coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia. Got a lot of stuff on the agenda for this morning. Been a busy morning here at Chillie's Cruises. Getting everything processed and put together and do all the other stuff I'm trying to get done. All right, so today, Monday, Travel and Cruise Industry News on December the 6th. Today is Bathtub Party Day. Now, I wonder whoever came up with the Bathtub Party Day, does that include hot tubs? I've just wondered. So, folks, go take a bath and party. Maybe have a little glass of wine and the tub. It's Bathtub Party Day. All right. Cruise ship sailing today from U.S. ports. We've got a few, not a whole lot. It's not a real busy day. Not like the weekend was, but a few. Down in Port Canaveral, we got Independence of the Seas, Disney Dream, and Carnival Elation all sailing. In Miami, Freedom of the Seas, who I will be on in, 59 days or something, in January 24th. Freedom of the Seas sails today from Miami. Disney Magic also sails, as well as the Celebrity Summit over in Tampa. Serenade of the Seas that I'll be on, when's that one? October, I think it is. Serenade of the Seas sails in Galveston. Adventures of the Seas, I'll be on that one in April. Carnival Breeze also sails from Galveston. And out in Los Angeles, San Pedro Navigator of the Seas, I'm on that one too. I can't remember when I'm on that one. I can't keep up with all this stuff going on in my life. But anyway, you know where my schedule is. Just go check it out. So I'm getting so excited about January getting here so I can join all my friends on the waters and start doing some catching up. Okay. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. Instead of our normal Elizabeth on the location port today, we have a guest portus. Portus? A guest port person. Anyway, the port for today is from Bonnie, Bubba, and Princess. And now, of course, Bonnie is the reason this picture was taken. Bubba and Princess were back at home. But anyway, I want you guys to take a look at this port so you can, in fact, guess on this one as to what port that is in. And I will be perfectly honest with you. I guessed I was close, but I guessed wrong. My guess was incorrect, and I had to finally find out what it was. But anyway, here's the guess for today, because we got a lot. And I am going to reveal that if nobody gets it, when I get to the chat room today, I am going to reveal which port it is. Okay, so this is not going to be a carryover. We're going to answer it today. Now, those of you that were with me yesterday, both for our little effort with Cruising Pete and Cruises for Solo and Allison, or Cruise Amigos yesterday, or Saturday, and several other times with John, we've had Wi-Fi issues. Not necessarily Wi-Fi issues, but also StreamYard issues. We thought we had it worked out, and then yesterday we just fell flat on our face with Cruise Amigos, and that was just awful. But anyway, to bring you up to date on John Reitmeyer, he is on the train between New York and snowy Minnesota. As a matter of fact, right about now, he's pulling into Chicago's Amtrak station there in Chicago. He's due to get off the train just about now. Of course, he went from the transatlantic Norwegian Epic to the Amtrak Monaghan train station, which is part of Penn Station. And just to bring you up to date on that, his last meal on board the Epic was at La Cucina, and he had lobster ravioli and a fillet he said was just absolutely delicious. And of course, their tiramisu. The disembark procedures yesterday morning, from the time he left his cabin until he got to Monaghan train station, was like 15 minutes. I mean, it was no time at all. As you can see, it's not very crowded in the first class lounge at the Monaghan train station when he got there. And of course, that's the board that the train went up on. And he finally did get out of there yesterday. So he is, in fact, on his way. And we're going to share some information with him. If I don't screw things up again, which I can't imagine that I would do such a thing. However, I'm going to try to, in fact, find where I have John. Let's see. John. Okay. And after thousands of technical issues for the last 72 hours, John is on the train.
I am not only on the train, but it looks like we have a good signal. I patched things together here. It's the craziest thing, so we're going to have some fun as long as we can. I hope I can lift up my and look out the window here. Oh, a train just went by there, you see, but we are in Toledo, Ohio, I think. That's the last that I heard.
Okay.
And that's across the way. My little cabin here is really just wonderful. I slept really good in it last night. The train is full. I don't know if you know, but because of the thing that's been going on for the last couple of years, lots of people have my same idea. And so all the rooms are always full, he said. It was really interesting. Some people who were on the Epic with me are down in the big mother car. You know, there's 3 cabins here that are like sofa, recliner, bathroom, shower, everything. And they're in there. They've been quarantined in Finland since 2020.
Holy Hannah.
And they just got out and they drove. They took a ferry from Finland to the mainland, and they rented a car and they drove to Rome, and they got on the Epic, and they're here on this with me going to Chicago. Then they're going to switch over and we're going to be on the Empire Builder together, but they're going all the way to the West Coast. That's what they had to do to get home.
Goodness. Unbelievable. All right.
Just crazy.
You get into Chicago about the time we're going to be on the air this morning.
Right on your showtime. Yep.
Okay. So you get into Chicago, change trains, and then the next train is on snow skis now. Is that correct?
Believe it or not, I don't know if you know, but these trains weigh hundreds of tons. I mean, each car. And the only thing that really bothers them is more than 30 inches of snow or a tornado. If there's a tornado, which I'm not planning on, but who knows what the news is going to bring you in the next couple of days. Yeah. But if there's a tornado, they stop the train. And so, which I find kind of interesting because I guess I'd rather be rolling, I would think. But anyway, they stop the train. I'm sure that, anyway, that's what they do. So you get a big view outside your window. I don't know if they take you out into the halls like they do at the hospital or what. I don't know how that all works. But And the only other thing is if they get more than so much snow, then they have to have a snow plow, out slamming the tracks first. But we are not expecting that. Most of the winter storm that we had, that we've been talking about, ended at about Fargo or Alexandria, Minnesota. That's right, mid-state.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is still like it is here. It's just fall conditions waiting for some snow. And so it's only going to be the last piece, and I think it's going to be okay. The winds have come and gone, according to what they said. So hopefully people can get the last 20 miles from my farm to Grand Forks and the new handicap train station. This is going to be exciting because Chicago is supposed to have it too, and it's supposed to be roll on, roll off. You're supposed to be able to roll right on and roll right off, whether you're in a wheelchair, a walker, a scooter, I guess a surfboard. I'm not sure what other things it counts for. But.
Yeah. And then by the time you finally get back to the farm, let's see if I got this correct now. They removed your bedroom and turned it into a solar panel, and you got 4 feet of snow. Something like that?
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, as far as we must be on, a Coyote News or something, but yeah, you're pretty close.
Okay, all right.
You did get what I meant by Coyote News, right?
Of course, I did.
I was trying to do that in my mind really, really fast. Well, first of all, I should be home at 5:40 tomorrow morning, your time.
Okay.
If everything goes well, that's when I'll be, rolling off on the handicap accessible with my walker, Grand Forks, North Dakota, $4.5 million terminal upgrade.
Okay.
And Ronnie is supposed to be there to meet me, or a willing substitute. And then, I'll get home. So I might get enough sleep in. I might join you, again, tomorrow. We're a real live shot from the real studio.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, just looking back over it, I left in October.
Yeah.
And now it's December. I mean, This is just amazing. I'm just amazed.
All right. My family was at dinner last night, a family and a friend at dinner last night. And I was telling some of the John tales and the travails of Wi-Fi's and streams and stuff over this little bit of space and time. And so they said, well, exactly where is he now? So I sent you a text and I said, where are you? Or the dinner table wants to know.
And believe it or not, at that point, I was sleeping.
Sound asleep.
I collapsed and I was sleeping because it just, it had been a long time. Of course, disembarking from the ship, you always, you get up really early.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed the first class, the Amtrak Metropolitan train station in New York. Really super over the top, willing to do anything for you people. We bring you anything? Do you need any more snacks? Is everything okay? The new Amtrak seems to really be realizing that, hey, we do have a good customer base here, and we're not just some government agency, and we're going to do good. Now, the tracks, on the other hand, I would tell you are not as good as they have been each time that I ride on the rails. Yeah. And you can see I'm moving around here. This is not like trains in Germany. I mean, we're bouncing around like a freight car, out in the middle of Wyoming. Some people don't mind it. I only notice it because it's so different from the German trains. That's my...
All right. So you slept good, and then you got up and sent me the answer. And of course, I was asleep by then. So we slept at totally different schedules for once. Right. So tell me how this whole situation on the train goes with food now.
Okay, well, of course, Amtrak was known for having chefs in their dining car, and they actually had some pretty good food over the years. There's no doubt about that. They have one thing that they're famous for is a flat iron steak and their short ribs and some other things like that. The steak is gone. The ribs are still in the menu, but everything now comes in these little boxes. And it's, of course, Coke's got a sponsor on it. There's a train going down the side of the box. And then in the bottom of the box, it says ride refreshed. So Coca-Cola I'm guessing Coca-Cola is using this as an ad piece. But it's really funny because even though I got to put my glass on to do this, even though that's all been planned out by somebody, here's the then container that your food comes in. My chicken last night came in this, and my French toast this morning came in this. And it was great. I mean, no complaint. Not microwaved. It's actually heated in a heat oven. But here's the irony. Here's the box. And here's the...
It doesn't fit in the box. Oh, yeah. Little poor planning.
Well, from a marketing point of view, I'm going, geez, I wish they'd have called me, you know. But the concept is good. The food is good. The people on the train, my overnight guy, Dan, greeted me when I got on. My bags are sitting down at the end with the walker. I use the cane when I'm on the train because the hallways are narrow. So I just bump between the two hallways, and the cane is out in front of me as my third place. But I want to show you, you were wondering last night where we are, where I am and where we are. And there you can see that's Lake Michigan there, and see the blue dot?
Yeah, that's you.
That be me.
Yeah.
That be me moving. We've got like 2 or 3 stops yet in I think South Bend, and then southern side of Chicago, and then finally into the main station. So,
all right.
But I've been tracking that all the way across from the time we left the Moynihan train station, part of Penn Station in New York. So
that's awesome. All right, John. I've got a lot of loading stuff to do. I got people everywhere today. So
good deal.
I'll let you go. Stay safe. Get your butt home. We'll talk again tomorrow.
And the report is on this train, 0 virus casualties, not like some ships that I think we're going to give a teaser on that you're going to be talking about. So
I am going to be talking about that this day. And actually, Norwegian did it right. So,
good. Glad to hear it. I'll be looking forward to hearing your show. See everybody from Studio B sometime tomorrow, I hope. Goodbye now.
All right. Thanks, John. Okay. That was, of course, John, and I hope everybody can hear me. I never can tell when I get back off of these things. Anyway, that was John Reitmeyer from somewhere in the vicinity of Amtrak now in Chicago. Let's see. The next thing on the agenda this morning, our buddy Kim, since she's in the house, Kim was in Rome she flew over to Rome, and then they actually took the train from Rome to Civitavecchia. This is as Kim and her traveling companion, and they got to Civitavecchia, and they spent the day in Civitavecchia before they got on the boat. And I asked Kim to send me a little clip on Civitavecchia. Here's Kim.
Hi, Chillie. I am in Italy right now. I get ready to go on the getaway cruise tomorrow. And I am in Civitavecchia, and I'm probably fracturing that horribly. But it's all lit up for the holidays, and they even have the palm trees all lit up. Let's see if I can get those. Just a fun place. It's Saturday night. Everyone is out and about, and it's just very festive here. It definitely brings the fact that Christmas is right around the corner. Anyway, I'm doing a 17-day transatlantic on the getaway. We leave tomorrow. We're going to go around the Mediterranean, Spain, Portugal, Azores, and then we hit the ocean to Miami. So I'm looking forward to it. I love my transatlantics. So anyway, hope you guys are well back in the States, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Okay. That, of course, is Kim from, she was in Civitavecchia. She's now on board the getaway as they sailed, and she was in Valencia, I believe, this morning. If I could be wrong about that one. But anyway, Kim is on board and at sea on her way to another transatlantic crossing in the Chillie Cruises family. Guess we'll call it that. All right. Now, last week we had Nikki was on the Sky Princess, and she got off, and Gretchen and Fred got on. And this wow, what a lovely, 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 lovely morning that was for them to sail, or afternoon was. So, all right. So Gretchen and Fred are on their way on the Sky Princess. Now, if you recall, Cindy Davis Weatherall, that's our friend from Dallas. She's back after her cruise on Explorer of the Sea in San Juan. And I still haven't caught up with all of her stuff from the Explorer of the Sea cruise so I went back and I picked up a few more things from Cindy that just have me just absolutely, look at that. And that was from Izumi. Of course, you guys know I like my sushi too. And of course, there's always some desserts involved. And this is just to show you that Cindy and Mark really do clean up nice. Yes, they do. And of course, Mark is a U.S. Army veteran. He's a retired colonel. He spent 24 years, I believe it was, in the Army. So, Mark, we do thank you for your service and everything you did for our country. And I'm glad you guys enjoy your travel so much. That's just fabulous. They went on this cruise. They were just recently in Hawaii. They were out there for, a week or so. And that's awesome. That's great, Cindy. Glad you and Mark are doing it, and we can share a little bit of it with us. All right. And one of our reasonably new friends, Rob Slevin, he's from Lexington out there in Kentucky, where all my family's out in that general area. He's on a big family Western Caribbean cruise on the Celebrity Edge. And that is his cruise guardian angel that he has with him. And I just thought I'd share that with you. I have not had anything directly from Rob since that. And so hopefully we'll get more information on the Edge as we go through this week. So now, JJ Cruise, my buddies Jared and Jordan. Jordan's now a travel agent, by the way. I just thought I'd point that out. Just give him a little plug. JJ Cruise witnessed a rescue at sea. This happened Saturday night. Now, if you recall, they are on the Celebrity Constellation, and they rescued 14 people off of a boat somewhere off the coast of Cuba. All the 14 folks required some medical attention, and they were scheduled to be met by government officials today while the Constellation is docked in Puerto Rico. So I'm not saying that these were people that left Cuba. I'm not saying anything because we don't know the circumstances on how they got where they were. But there were 14 people that were rescued by the Celebrity Constellation. This was late Saturday night. And Jarrett and Jordan did witness that. So they took off a hat as a travel agent and a cruiser and became a reporter, sort of. Okay. Remember our buddy Bubba Schumard? We talked to him, long time ago, about his cruise to Alaska. He's a big Holland America fan. He and his wife have been on, they've been like nonstop cruising. They went on a couple back-to-back Royal Caribbeans, and then they were on Koningsdam for, I want to say, like the best part of 3 weeks. Well, now they went to Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades, and got on the Eurodam, and they're on the Eurodam for, I think it's 17 more days. They get home like just in time for Christmas. I think like maybe the 20th or 21st or something, and they get home in time for Christmas. And that's, of course, a Panama Canal cruise on the Eurodam. So they do get home for Christmas. I do know that. And one of these days, we're going to be able to hook up with Bubba again and share some thoughts on all the cruising that he's been doing. He and his wife have been doing. Like you recall, Bubba does a daily cocktail recipe that he posts on the Holland America group page. All right, now, let's talk about a little news. We, over the weekend, everything just went totally bonkers over reports from the Norwegian Breakaway, at first with 10 passengers that tested positive, and they were on their way heading back to New Orleans. The mainstream media went nuts on this one. Not only were there the folks that are anti-vaxxers, anti-cruisers, cruising is only you're living in a petri dish and all that crap. But anybody that has anything to say negative about the cruising world came out of the woodwork to, in fact, bash Norwegian and cruising. Now, rather than getting upset, folks, let's talk about the actual facts. Yes, there were at first reported by 10 people, and now that's been changed. There were 17 people on board the Norwegian Breakaway, between crew and passengers. One person is suspected Omicron case, and he was a crew member that recently boarded from, guess where? Africa. But anyway, they made their return as scheduled to New Orleans. The Louisiana Department of Health, the CDC, and Norwegian all have spoken clearly, distinctly, openly about the situation. The protocols established between the CDC and all the cruise lines before we start sailing at all kicked in. They followed the protocols to the T, did everything they're supposed to do. Now, despite what the mainstream media is going to try to slant things and make things sound bad and all that kind of business, all right, the situation as it stands right now is that the affected people, as per the now, first of all, there was 3,200 passengers on board. Part of the whole CDC thing with the cruise lines And you remember the CDC has the chart with every cruise ship sailing from the U.S. on it, and their color chart as to whether there's any COVID on board, or they've tested it, or they've, it's a different to red. As long as you are less than 1% of your passenger total, you're within guidelines. Okay, 3,200 passengers, that's 1% is 32. This is 17. So they did not hit the 1% thing. The CDC would go on to the next step of the protocol. The protocols between the CDC and the cruise line, besides the chart that they publish, Norwegian has as strict a policy as any of the other cruise lines. And 100% guess. Still, you got positive tests. The protocols kicked in. It's less, it's about 1/2 of 1% of the total passenger count. Obviously, the person that is suspected of Omicron is in complete isolation. All of the identified cases on board are asymptomatic. Norwegian implemented quarantine, isolation, and contact tracing procedures immediately on the identified folks. Any guests who have tested positive, and this is important, folks, travel a personal vehicle to their personal residence. If they've taken off the ship to their vehicle, they get in their vehicle, they have to drive directly home and self-isolate at home, or self-isolate in accommodations provided by Norwegian. Okay? That's the procedures that are gone through. These people don't walk off the ship having tested positive and walk around New Orleans or go to the airport and airplane. Go to that. If they drove, they are taken to their car and they have to drive home. If they flew in, they have to isolate in accommodations that Norwegian provides. This cruise was a 7-day cruise. It made stop in Honduras, Belize, and Mexico. It departed from New Orleans on the 28th and was back yesterday, and it sailed again yesterday. Of course, they kicked in all the cleaning procedures, all the things they're supposed to do. The CDC is on board. It's been done. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. So, all of the people that are downing all of us in the cruise world that want to get back to cruising and want to get back to normal and are doing things as we have done them. I can say one thing to all of you guys, and that's Italian hand signals. And the media. Oh my gosh. You know how I talk about how much I hate politicians? I hate the media is bad. The mainstream media, they're just ridiculous. I don't want to rant. I have to control my emotions. That's what my therapist says. I don't have a therapist, but I thought that sounded good. Okay. Carnival Sunshine. Carnival Sunshine came out of dry dock. How about that? Carnival Sunshine has been in dry dock and getting a new paint job and all spruced up and fixed up. Well, they completed their dry dock in Cadiz, Spain. Notice, folks, I have learned how to pronounce Cadiz, Spain now. I always slaughtered that one. So, I've learned 2 words since I started doing this, how many ever years ago. I've learned how to pronounce 2 things properly, Cadiz and Civitavecchia. I'll screw anything else up, but those 2 things I got right. Anyway, Carnival Sunshine is currently sailing back at top speed to get back to the States. She was looking a little worse for wear when she entered dry dock. She's looking like a brand new ship now. And of course, the Carnival Sunshine is going to be one of the ships to take over for Carnival Horizon's passengers and guests that were scheduled on the Horizon, because she's got azopod issues and she's got to go into repair. So the azopods are forcing the Sunshine to do stuff out of Miami instead of doing stuff out of Charleston, and she's going to start sailing out of town sometime. January 13th, I think, was supposed to be the first scheduled sailing out of Charleston. And now she's going to start on December 19th from Miami with people that were supposed to be on the Horizon. That brings you up to date on the Carnival Horizon fiasco. All right. MSC Europa floated out this weekend. And the significant point of that, of course, that was at the shipyard at Saint Nazaire, France. These were 200,700 gross inside, the largest in the world after the Oasis class from Royal Caribbean. The MSC World Europa is the first of the second largest class ship. Is now floated out. That's a milestone in the building process. So we will see Europa late next year. I think, I don't recall. Anyway, it's on off for ways. And it's going to be in Europe for a while. So the folks on the other side of the pond are the ones who are going to benefit from that. All right, a little on one of the kind of sad stories that we have had to put up with in this world. And Terry's Experience, formerly known as Costa Romantica, Costa Neo-Romantica, and Celestial Experience, has been beached at the Gadani shipyard facility in Pakistan, the world's third largest ship-breaking scrapyard. The ship was beached on December 3rd. With steel prices setting all-time highs, scrapping a vessel is currently way more economical than getting one fixed up and refurbished. So that's what has happened to a former Costa ship. Say I had a bunch of ships, if you recall, over the past. All right. Royal Caribbean over the weekend announced that 2023, they're going to have four ships sailing to Alaska. In 2023, Royal Caribbean will have the Quantum of the Seas, which I'm going to be on in May of 22, May 9th, as a matter of fact. Remember Mr. Bucket List that we had on this show about, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. He was one of our guests. Mr. Bucket List is going to be on the Alaska cruise with me, May 9th, on Quantum of the Seas out of Seattle. Also in 2023, the following year, Quantum of the Seas, Elation of the Seas, Radiance of the Seas, and Enchantment of the Seas will be sailing to Alaska. Enchantment of the Seas replaces Serenade of the Seas that is going to be there in 2022. So that's the latest from Royal Caribbean. All right, let's go see if anybody guessed the port. I'll flag it up again in case anybody missed it earlier. That's the port, and this is from our buddy Bonnie down in Florida. So some of you may know Bonnie's situation and where she's been on some of her cruises and some of the cruises she likes. And and I will go through and see if anybody has gotten this. This might give you a hint if nobody has gotten it. This was on the same cruise, but not the same port. And Bonnie was welcomed to Canada. Box there. And that would have been in New Brunswick. And that's not the port. So it's not St. John. That was my guess. I was thinking that was St. John, but it was not. So let's go see if somebody is being. And most of you are smarter than me. So Higher Tom says, good morning. He's got bank issues. Uh-oh. Essex Bank, a local Richmond bank, merged with United Bank. Never heard of them before, and they switched over the online banking over the weekend. Nothing is working today. That's the efficiency of the banking industry. Don't you just love it? The one that got me, now this is back before I retired Hot Air. I got to tell you this one. I deal with Wells Fargo, and they try to find ways of giving you fees for everything. Okay. And one of the times I went in after a big funnel cake weekend, and I have lots of money that I'm depositing, which I do. I went through all the usual things. I counted out, I wrap them. It's all counted multiple times by me and banded and everything. There's nothing loose. I don't give them loose change. It's just a big pile of money is what, I brought in after a big weekend, right? They wanted to charge me for counting my money. I said, no. I raised holy hell. I was in the middle of the bank screaming at the bank manager and telling him to get the damn president of Wells Fargo on the phone. Man, I hate banks too. I hate lots of people. I'm an equal opportunity hater. When I hate somebody, man, I'm consistent with it. I hate them always. All right. So let's see what else Hot Air has to say. I had a login with a new website that worked last weekend. Now it's not. The bank won't help resolve it. They forward me to our ad man who hasn't been able to get his login working either. Oh, yeah. That's lovely. And they won't help. That sounds like banks. So I'm not sure what banks do anymore. I quit going inside the bank, when COVID hit. I do everything I need to do at the drive-in thing. Yeah, with the machine. If I need money, I stick my card in, I get money. If I need to make a deposit, I stick my card in and stick the checks in or whatever I'm depositing or the cash, and it's done. And what the hell else? I don't go into party anymore. I haven't done that. So I wanted to make again. I had to see people. It's fine with me. So, all right. Gretchen's with us. She says 80 degrees on the way to St. Thomas today on the Sky Princess. Gretchen, thank you. Of course, I'm sharing the stuff that I steal off your Facebook page or off of Messenger and keep it going. So, anyway. Hot Air says the merger was just announced a month or so ago. Funny how BBT and SunTrust merger has taken several years for them to work out the details. After not helping me, the customer service person asked, is there anything else I can help you with? I say, fix the problem. I'm going to withdraw all of our accounts. I've threatened that numerous times with Wells Fargo too. It doesn't do a damn bit of good. I don't care. They don't care. You have to scream loud enough that they're worried that you're going to embarrass them in front of another customer before they ever do anything. Because if you try to do it sane and sensibly and like an adult, they just totally ignore you. So Carol's with us. Good morning, Carol. And by the way, I'm keeping in the back of my mind. I'm going to have dinner with you before I get on that Tampa cruise whenever that's in October, I think. Anyway, in the Tampa area, I'm going to have dinner with you. Anyway, Hot Air says it's like talking to the wall. I know. And Gretchen says, thank you, Elizabeth and Aubrey, for the lovely bottle of wine for our 40th last night at the Crown Grill. That's what I was going to do today, and I forgot all about doing that. I have, and I will share that again tomorrow. Yes, Gretchen, I knew about that. I knew about that ahead of time, and I knew what they were planning. But yes, Elizabeth and Aubrey cooked up together and got Gretchen and y'all got Gretchen and Fred got a nice bottle of wine with dinner. And I do have a couple pictures of that. I will share those. Sorry, I did not get those loaded this morning. It was kind of nuts getting everything put together today. So I will do that for tomorrow. I promise. So Hot Air is done with his rant. Good. Maybe that'll keep me from getting on another rant. We need a huge bathtub. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, guys. If you know, don't know. And most bathrooms on the other side of the house. She has her own bathroom. And it had a tub in it that hadn't been used for 25 years. It was just old crappy tub that was here when my mother added on to this house 30 years ago or something like that. And it was just awful. So we knew if we ever get to the point of selling this house, one thing would have to redo Amanda's bathroom. So I actually ended up putting in there one of the walk-in hot tubs, a walk-in bathtub / hot tub situation. But there's a limited amount of space. It's not like being on the hot tub on a cruise ship. But if you've seen them, they look wonderful on the ads. And now I don't know if I ever told you guys this or not, but I'm a big fat guy. So I get in the hot tub and I use it religiously. I love it. But when I get my fat butt in there and get the hot water in there and get it going good, then I try to slide my butt off the seat so I can get more of my body down in the hot water. And it's such tight quarters that my bad knee ends up getting bent up under me, and that doesn't help it matters any. But anyway, I still love it. And there's not a whole lot of room in it for a big fat guy. But somebody smaller than me would probably do really well in it. But anyway, that's what I do several days, 4 or 5 times a week. Going. And the water company sent, my sister pays the water bill. Okay. The water company sent a thing. We're afraid you might have a leak. Your water usage is up. Yeah, the water usage is up because I'm in the hot tub a lot. So anyway, Gretchen says, cheer up, Tom, it's only money. Yeah, right. And Otter says, that was the business account. Wait till payroll doesn't work. Oh, yeah, that could be a disaster. Tom says he's glad he has SunTrust as a second bank. Nikki's with us. Hey, Nikki, how are you doing back home? Have you washed all your dirty clothes yet? That's one of the first things I do when I get back home. Head gets all to the laundry. I got to start doing, with all the cruises I'm going to do, I got to start making use of the laundry services on the boat. I've never done that in all the years I've sailed. It's going to happen. There's Amy's with us. Hi, Amy. How you doing? Good to see you again. She said, happy Monday to everybody. Nikki says, what a mess. I feel your pain, Tom. Let's see. Nikki says to Gretchen, enjoy the great ship. How is your internet doing, Gretchen? I can tell you how her internet's doing. The Sky Princess has the best internet of anybody on any of the ships that I have talked to people / interviewed people for the last, how many months has it been? 6 months since we started back cruising. How many of our months it's been? By far, the best Wi-Fi signal. Princess has gotten it right now. I don't know if it translates to others. Scott Princess, it's outstanding. Greatness is absolutely perfect. Yes, I agree. Say hi to Klinger, John. Oh yeah, Klinger from yeah, Klinger from Brainlock. Yeah, he was from Toledo. Yeah, I can't think of what it's from. MASH. Klinger from MASH, of course. And that's when I said hi to Kim. Kim was over on the Facebook side of thing. I did not see if anything else. I got to let me flash over to Facebook real quick. And Livorno. It's Kim's in Livorno today, and you had to be on regular Norwegian excursions or stay on the boat, and she stayed on the boat. That much I remember. That's why we actually had her in house today, because she was on the boat instead of on an excursion. So, and you know me, I can't remember anything for 2 minutes. So it was Livorno was the port for her today. And by the way, nobody's guessed yet on the port, our port of the day. Let's see. Amy says, just like the cruise hating media to make less than 20 people with COVID an outbreak on a ship carrying over 3,000 passengers and crew. Yeah. And it's, with the crew, that's like 4,200. So they had 3,200 passengers that they sailed this week. So, there was 4,000 people total. And the other thing that I didn't mention in this, there has been a couple cases where when you that everybody is fully vaccinated and everybody was tested just days ago and was negative, or they wouldn't be on the boat to start with. Okay. With the there's this door similar they mix in the tubes to what goes on with fact getting up and giving them positives. And that's what happened. But clearly something that you can see happen. So that's, I thought I'd add that. Signal is breaking up. Yeah, Carol, that's what I'm seeing too. Gretchen says she's got to go. Hot Air says, I had to leave a moment. You will love this, Chillie. Me either. He needs the phone number for authentication updated on his profile. Okay. And by the way, my signal is coming in and out. I apologize for that, folks. He was almost as rude as me on the phone with the bank. Carol says, what ship am I cruising on and what date in May? May 9th, and Quantum of the Seas is what I'm going to be on in Alaska. And Hot Air says, great news. Bermuda finally added the gym to their travel authorization. That was another one I was going to add in today. And I did not get that done either, Tom. But yeah, I had that on the burner. It just didn't all get loaded. So we're glad Hot Air is finally officially going to be in Bermuda next week, I think. So mine was done under the Breakaway on November 15th. Hopefully they actually changed the date for me. Yeah. All right, guys. Nobody guessed today's port. That was actually that was from, of course, from Bonnie down in Florida, and that was in Maine. That was Bar Harbor in Maine, going into Bar Harbor. So I just thought I'd point that out. And that's where they have the lovely Acadia National Park. Is just a fabulous place. And that's actually from up in the park looking down at one of the ships there going into Bar Harbor. So that's our port for the day. Sorry you guys did not get it. And that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. It's been another wild and woolly one. I don't know if you're still hearing the signal on this. If you are, it looks like you are at least. I will just thank y'all for being here. If you're new to this channel, we always like thumbs up. That helps the channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Doesn't cost anything, helps the channel out. And hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I go live or when I post a new video. And the countdown is on now, folks. If some of you have seen my video clips, shorts on YouTube for the 50 most popular national parks, started with number 50 and working my way back. I'm now inside the top 10 as this morning I posted number 9. So we're on our way to the most popular national park in the USA. So when I post one of those, the bell notification tells you too. So you can check it out. And that takes less than a minute because they're all less than 60 seconds. So it's going to wrap me up for today, guys. I'll see everybody same time, same place tomorrow on Tuesday, Travel and Cruise Industry News. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.